Aye. Here.
Trustee Schulte.
Here.
Trustee Jepson.
Here.
Trustee Meisner.
Here.
We're all here, and I apologize. I said chair will take the role. I meant clerk will take the role. But if you want to be elevated, it's open. Okay. Item number 3 is the. Let me get back here. Approval of minutes from the ACHRA board meeting of February 25th, 2025. Do I have a motion? Moved by Trustee Schulte.
Second.
Second by Trustee Jepson. Any changes? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Chair's remarks. I do not have any chair's remarks today. We'll move down to the ACHR Management Committee report and open it up. Tanya?
Yeah, so this is just to go over your, the management committee meeting.
Okay.
So the first thing was, sorry, I'm on the wrong page. To recommend a budget amendment was the first item in the management committee, which you guys said to put through for approval is the first thing.
Got it. So the item number 1 is we recommend the Board of Trustees approve a budget amendment to add funds from a closed-out program and activate them for 2025 activities not included in the ACHRA budget process of 2025. That HRA was allowed to retain $150,000 in loan payments. That's the one we're talking about? Yep. Generated through the Minnesota Investment Fund grant. The MIF funds were used for a revolving loan program, but the program is inactive and was closed out. The funds can be used on similar economic development activities, and the funds were put in an account to be identified economic activities later on. So we've got the economic development activities of $125,000 and then $25,000 to Anoka Technical College equipment purchase.
Yeah, that's the equipment purchase that you guys
Yep,
approved
okay.
last time.
Been moved by Trustee Schulte. Do I have a second? Second by Trustee Reinert. Any questions? I believe this is a roll call vote.
Trustee Brasted.
Aye.
Trustee Reinert.
Aye.
Trustee Gamache.
Aye.
Trustee Schulte.
Aye.
Trustee Jepson.
Aye.
Trustee Meisner.
Aye.
Trustee Heinrich.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. And that was the only item we had for that.
Yep, and
Okay.
then you just approved doing the public hearing, which is the next item.
We'll move down to item 6, which is the public hearing notice, and we'll turn it over to the attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I will open the public hearing portion of the meeting. The time is now 10:24 a.m. I would ask that the minutes reflect that the notice of this public hearing was published on February 21st, 2025 in the Anoka County Union, informing the public that a hearing would occur during the regular meeting of the HRA Board on March 21st to allow public comment on the needs and priorities stated in the ACHRA's 2025 to 2029 5-year consolidated plan and the projected uses of program year 2025 CDBG and home funds. Before we receive public comments, Renee Sandy, the Community Development Manager, will address the board with an overview of the proposed funding activity. Thank you.
Welcome, Renee.
Good morning, trustees. Attached is a packet outlining basically our funding recommendations for PY25. This is unique. Every 5 years we do a 5-year plan, so it also includes our 5-year plan that we anticipate bringing back to the board on the county board on May 13th for final approval. Before we do the next item, we'll go through line by line our staffing recommendations, but first we'll go through the public hearing portion of this. So go ahead, David, and then we'll continue.
Thanks. We will now begin the public comment portion of the hearing, but before we do, did we receive any comments in writing before?
Yes, I received one comment in writing. I will read that aloud if so determined here.
Thank you.
It's from the City of Blaine. Dear Anoka County Commissioners, the City of Blaine offers this comment letter in relation to the preparation of the 2025-2029 Consolidated Plan. The city requests the consolidated plans and policies and procedures specifically recognize manufactured homes located in manufactured home parks to be part of the permanent housing stock in Anoka County. Furthermore, we request the rehabilitation of manufactured homes within the county to be identified as a high priority housing need in the CON plan. The City of Blaine called for the preservation of manufactured housing as an important source of affordable housing in our 2040 comprehensive plan, and is dedicating significant staff and financial resources to improving the quality of life for residents of the 6 parks located in Blaine. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, has identified manufactured housing as a key element of promoting affordable housing and issued a new notice governing community development block grant use, specifically to expand the eligible uses of CDBG for manufacturing housing. The city of Blaine is home to over 2,300 manufactured home units, and Anoka County is home to over 4,600 manufacturing home units. Anoka County has both the largest number of manufactured home units and the largest portion of housing units as manufactured homes of all of the counties within the 7-county metro area. Manufactured home residents make up 8% of Blaine households and 3% of Anoka County households. The cost to move a manufactured home is $7,000 to $10,000 according to Fannie Mae, and 0.8% of manufactured homes located in the parks are moved out of parks each year according to HUD. Only 1% to 7% of manufactured home units are ever moved after initial installation. Also, according to HUD, post-1994 homes are equally or more resilient to environmental conditions than site-built homes. The city of Blaine has undertaken several community engagement activities in manufactured home communities over the last 2 years, and residents speak highly of the sense of community within their park and clearly view their home as part of the permanent housing stock. Manufactured home park residents make up a substantial portion of low and moderate income populations of Anoka County, and the consolidated plan should reflect their role as members of the Anoka County community. Additionally, the city requests the county consider the expansion of the CDBG Home Improvement Loan Program to finance repairs on manufactured homes. The city's EDA allocated $135,000 for this use on deferred and forgivable loans for manufactured homes in 2024 through 2026 as matching funds for a grant from the Minnesota Home Ownership Impact Fund, and has operated interest-bearing and deferred loan programs for well over a decade. We would be happy to discuss our experience navigating loan origination and management for loans secured against personal property. As I'm going to put in a side note, manufactured homes are titled as personal property rather than a more like a traditional home. And this is from Elizabeth Showalter, from Community Development Specialist from the City of Blaine. That was the only written comment received.
All right, thank you. It's my understanding that we do have several members of the public who wish to address the board, so now is your opportunity. Please take turns stepping forward to the podium and state your name and the agency or program that you represent before addressing the Board of Trustees. I would ask that out of respect to everyone at the hearing today, we limit our comments to two minutes, I believe, is the period that we have assigned. And please provide statements rather than questions to the board. If the trustees have any questions about the material, they may inquire. And as mentioned, written comments to the board are welcome if you wish to submit those after the hearing. Are there any members of the public who wish to step forward at this time? Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Wyatt. I'm the Housing Program Manager at Mediation Restorative Services. Bernadette Caffo apologizes. She meant to be here this morning and had a conflict at the state, so she asked me to come last minute. I just want to say thank you to the board for what you've done from a CDBG standpoint. At Mediation Restorative Services, or MARS, I started as a housing resource navigator through AmeriCorps' Heading Home Corps program as a volunteer for 2 years. We're there in housing court. Last year, we were able to add another housing resource navigator through the funding from CDBG. And for context, we were, as an HSS provider, we were able to access funds in the Rent Help MN program during that period of time. That one FTE for 6 months that you provided generated over $800,000 worth of rental assistance in Anoka County. That literally, if we had not had that other person, we could not have done. So we did over $2 million worth of rental assistance in Anoka County, direct payments to landlords through their Rent Help MN program, and this helps. So thanks for your consideration, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the board at this time? Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the board? I will call one final time, since I know we had a couple of people on the list, but is there anyone else who would like to step forward to address the board? Hearing no further comments, I will close the public hearing portion of the meeting and turn the meeting back to Chairman Gamache. Thank you.
And regarding the letter from Blaine that we
Yes.
received, they're asking us specifically for an expansion of the definition of a home to include mobile homes, or manufactured homes. Is that what they wish? Is that something we need to change? Or?
There's two parts to their ask. The first is to consider manufactured housing as part of our permanent housing stock within our consolidated plan, and that's an easy ask for us. The second part of their ask was to be able to use CDBG. We currently can use Minnesota housing funds for manufactured homes within Anoka County, but that's for very low-income persons through the state of Minnesota. The second portion of that, the ask to be able to use CDBG, would involve us expanding our policies and procedures to incorporate that. And that's something we can certainly do moving forward, but that would involve changing our policies and procedures to have a process for manufactured housing. Currently, we just do Minnesota housing as for manufactured homes.
Okay. I was wondering if we should have that discussion on a board meeting here, or is that something we do at a workshop down the road and go if we want to make that change? Sounds like the first change is easy.
The first change is a given. We'll incorporate their public comment in our 5-year plan. And then second, we had already had internally discussed including and expanding the definition to include them as part of our permanent housing stock, manufactured housing. And then the second would be updating policies and procedures to incorporate their ask if we so choose to desire internally.
Trustee Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then so for the ask with the funds, the CDBG, but that would be for the home, for the capital, not for program services, correct?
Correct. That would not be for us to individually fund the city of Blaine. That would be to open up our current single-family rehabilitation, CDBG funded single-family home rehabilitation loan program to include manufactured homes throughout Anoka County at the same level of funding. Currently, it's $24,999. That we would include manufactured homes as well as single-family brick and stick
Okay,
houses.
and then forgive me, humor me, because I know that there's a lot of different programming within HUD. I just want to make sure, because I think I'm getting it confused with the home grants versus what you're talking about, right? Because we've got like the program services that are always much in demand for our county. We never have enough money in that bucket. And then we have like the capital projects that we're always looking for because we have the opposite problem. We have the funds and we're looking for projects. But that's not what this is talking about, I don't think. That's what
No, this would be our traditional
Okay,
capital
all right.
fund here. And this would be included as part of Anoka County's ask for single-family rehabilitation loan funds, which is a line item that we'll get to in the second
okay, all
portion
right.
of this. And this would expand the definition of single-family homes to include manufactured
Okay.
homes as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that time to just walk me through that. I get it. Thank you.
Trustee Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As far as the Blaine letter, would you say that MMHA is in support of this as well?
So the conundrum is currently the Minnesota housing currently only serves very low-income persons. And so the catch-22 with this is if you have a family that doesn't income qualify at that very low-income level, we currently do not repair manufactured homes with CDBG funds. So this would expand the definition, so then persons could, if they don't meet the income limits, the very low income limits, because Minnesota housing income limits are very low for manufactured homes, this would expand the cap on that where they could use CDBG, which would run through our CDBG single-family home program, and they would need to meet those requirements as far as income, which serves more of a 80% AMI versus Minnesota housing is significantly lower than that. Area median income.
Trustee Jepson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more, like, what does the federal government say? I would highly recommend this go to the HRA next workshop so we can dig a little deeper in that. I think there is significant, like I said, more information to learn. But even if we made a decision, which we can't right now because I have way more questions, right? It doesn't impact what's in front of us today, correct?
It does not, no. And again, the essence of the letter is to include it as part of our 5-year con plan. And then furthermore is requesting that we take a look at our current structure and expand the definition of single-family homes to include manufactured homes.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll, I think, officially have this moved to the next meeting that we'll hold over in 772. Okay. Yeah, it'll go through HRA. That'll give you some time to go through all these things. All right. So back to Renee. Did you have any more on the regular stuff in front of us today? Because we're done with the public hearing part. Yep.
Yes, so not at this point. We're ready, I think, to move to item 7.
Okay. Trustee Schulte.
Mr. Chair, I'll move staff recommendation for program year 2025 action plan.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Schulte, seconded by Trustee Meisner. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Just a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do have
Okay.
a question. So
Sure.
are we on item number 7?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I do have something for item 7. We're going to do that as a 2-part vote. First, we're going to vote on everything except Elevate Hope House. Commissioner Heinrichs, Trustee Heinrichs, has a conflict with that, so I'm going to have everyone vote on everything but the Elevate Hope House funding recommendation, and then we'll do a separate vote for Elevate Hope House. So a 2-part
Chair.
vote.
Trustee
I
Schulte.
would like to modify my motion to withdraw Elevate Hope House from my motion and take that separately.
Okay. Trustee Jepson, does that second hold for you?
Absolutely, thank you.
So we've got that in front of us, and this does not need a roll call, does it? It does. Okay. Roll call vote.
Trustee Reinert.
Aye.
Trustee Gamache.
Aye.
Trustee Schulte.
Aye.
Trustee Jepson.
Aye.
Trustee Meisner.
Aye.
Trustee Heinrich. Trustee Breasted.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. And then Renee, we have the second part with the Hope.
Mr. Chair,
Trustee Schulte.
I would like to move that we authorize Elevate Hope House $16,000 through the CDBG program.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Schulte, second by Trustee Jepson, and we have that before us. Trustee Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have a family member that was volunteering at Elevate and now is a part-time employee. And so I will recuse myself from this vote. One process question. When my name comes up, do I say pass or do I just not say anything?
Abstain.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Trustee Gamache.
Aye.
Trustee Schulte.
Aye.
Trustee Jepson.
Aye.
Trustee Meisner.
Aye.
Trustee Heinrich.
Abstain.
Trustee Breasted.
Aye.
Trustee Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes with one abstention. Next, we move down to the, so that was item 7, financial, okay, summary of applications. We don't need to go through that. Okay, and then we're down to Ellers and Associates contract worksheet.
Thank you, trustees. This is just to approve, I'm looking for your approval for a contract with Ellers and Associates to be the HRA's financial advisor for the next couple of years. And we've done 2-year contracts each time with some additional, able to approve additional agreements in the future. So it's a 2-year contract not to exceed $25,000. They don't do a lot for us during the year, but just enough that we need to put a contract in place.
All right. Do I have a motion?
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to move the board to approve the contract with Ellers and Associates for a 2-year period not to exceed $25,000.
Been moved by trustee Reiner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Meisner. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Trustee Schulte?
Aye.
Trustee Jepson?
Aye.
Trustee Meisner?
Aye.
Trustee Heinrich?
Aye.
Trustee Brasted?
Aye.
Trustee Reiner?
Aye.
Trustee Gamache?
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Is there anything else to come before the HRA board today? Thank you for everybody for coming. We're adjourned.